Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Shangri-La Frontier, episode 24, the penultimate one, and this time it really is the penultimate one. I thought this series has 24 episodes, but no, thankfully not, thankfully 25 of them. Yeah, we still have this one and the next one ahead of us, and I couldn't be any happier, honestly. Hopefully the next episode will also bring an announcement of season 2. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? I know that the anime something convention or whatever it was has already passed. I think it was yesterday and the day before. So if they didn't make any announcements there, I don't know, maybe they're gonna make some, or maybe they won't. Actually there is a very easy way to check if they made any announcements or not, and it's to see if season 2 is listed anywhere, and it doesn't seem like it is. So probably no announcements have been made, but hopefully in the last episode, the after credit scene, we see the the minis, the Shangri-La theater, and they announce that, oh yeah, season 2 has been greenlit. That would be ideal. Hopefully. But yeah, regardless of that, in the previous episode, let's start with that. In the previous episode, Sanaraku, Emul, and B had to face off against an undead chorus, I believe the monster was called, the boss of the region, who is the source of the entire miasma encompassing those lands, and they had to fight it. Unfortunately, Sanaraku didn't read the guide, didn't prepare himself properly, and didn't have any holy weapons. And only holy weapons, and I believe magic, can hurt that monster, so yeah, that was a problem. Thankfully, they had a blacksmith with them. B, it's really useful to have a blacksmith or a craftsman of some sort with you at all times. Because B was able to grab the decapitator sword that they got from the Dullahan, and used holy water to forge the holy element into it. And thanks to that, Sanrak was able to defeat the chorus with some help from Emul, of course, and with B, who pretty much just dealt the final blow, right? The pile driver with her hammer, and that was an amazing moment. I love pile drivers, I love B. All my favorite elements just connected into one, essentially. And the sword didn't break. It was supposed to break, but it didn't. So something tells me that this sword will be somehow important, somehow significant. B is perhaps going to turn it into something, some powerful weapon that Sanaraku will be able to use with the Weathermon techniques, for example. That's my running theory right now. And they passed that, made it to the next city. Emul and B went back to Rabituza, created the portal. It's another place on the map of fast travel. Fast travel through Rabituza that Sanaraku can use. So Emul and B went back to, I don't know, for some reason, not entirely sure, to be honest with you. Sanaraku decided to stay, said that he's going to look around the city, but of course he did, actually. He bought some juicy carrots for Emul and B, for Emul mostly, as he promised, and then just beelined it for the crystal scorpions that Emul and B told him to not fight because they're really strong. And that, of course, had the exact opposite effect on Sanraku, as was to be expected, honestly. You tell him there's an unbeatable foe, he's just gonna say, hold my beer. That's how it works. He's a gamer through and through, isn't he? And now, in today's episode, I'm assuming we will be fighting those crystal scorpions. Oh, right, and the drop from the chorus also sounded significant. It was grudge bone, grudge bone, I think, and it's something that the class of shaman, shamans can use. So useless for Sanaraku, but perhaps we know some shaman that we could gift it to, or maybe we can use that bone to forge a weapon for Sanraku or something. They wouldn't have this drop without a reason, I like to think. But yeah, in today's episode I expect a fight with the Crystal Scorpions. And that's basically my expectation. I don't know what will be the significance of it. Perhaps some nice loot. Maybe Sanraku will meet some player who's also hunting them. Any number of things can happen, but one thing for certain is that there will be fighting the Scorpions. And that's basically all I know. So, with that in mind, how about we just start watching this episode and actually see what's gonna happen, right? That sounds like a good idea. So, to do that, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 24, the penultimate one of Shangri-La Frontier in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we're starting with the intro, then probably the opening, and only then a fight. I'm getting cold, I think. Oh well. Hopefully my voice doesn't sound too nasally yet. Please tell me we at least don't get a recap. Because that would be way too much. Intro, opening, recap. Oh man, I so hope for a season 2. I mean, if... I was about to say that if Sasaki to P-chan got a season 2, then why would a show like this, or like Frieren, not get a season 2? But something tells me Sasaki to P-chan was already planned as a 2-core show. They just had to split it up for whatever reason. I think it was even a leak, wasn't it? That it was supposed to be a double core, but they decided to make it a split core for whatever reason. And also, while you're at making season 2 of Shangri-La, please also make it 24 episodes. I love double-length shows. They really have the time to like fully shine, and we still haven't seen her. Like on one hand, sure, they have the time to fully shine. On the other, they take up precious slots, right? Like, if Shangri-La and Frieren weren't double core, then in this very season that's already coming to an end, I would be able to watch 2 more shows. So, a little bit of a trade-off. Rare items worth more than life itself. Okay. I fully expected this jump to actually not be enough to get to the top. Yeah. Exactly. Not like it's SAO either, where you like die in the game, you die in real life. Whereas that can happen is he gets murked by the Scorpions and just respawns in the city. Maybe loses some gold or XP, but besides that, it's like whatever. Mine some of those. Right, slippery crystals. And they found you. Didn't they? Yep. Exactly to be expected. Yeah, they're camouflaging with perfect CG. Amazing music, as always. Right, it's not really using the stinger, is it? Yeah, that's also a valid strategy. Run away, grab some crystal shards, open a chest or two, and then jump down. Or maybe not, because there's... That black rock seems significant. Yeah, it's a nest after all. Of course there would be more. Mm-hmm. Run. Or someone ex machina. No. Okay, straight up dead. Cue a respawn. I mean, of course. Yeah, and that enticed him further. Bribe her with food. Always works. Okay, so I guess we're not fighting the scorpions as in like fighting them. We're doing something else. Because I don't think Sanaraku would just return there and try again. And I'm proven incorrect straight up. Yeah, we don't actually know what you lose when you die to monsters. Because if you don't lose any items, then sure, go in all sneaky beaky like, grab some items, and even if you die, then you keep the items. Yeah, the black rock. Ominous, glowing black rock. Mm-hmm. And cue the scorpions. Did you think mining is a silent job? What if a pickaxe gives you a, like, increased damage against those scorpions because they're made of a crystal? Try again. Desua indeed. Have another carrot. Okay! He got a chunk of whatever this is. A lot of magic. Could it be used to, like, craft a magic item? Probably. Ah, she tags him in. That's sweet. And a lullaby. Damn. Oh, maybe. No sleep yet. Yeah, but he's gonna grab a piece of the carapace at least. Oh? And that would be... something nefarious. Of course. Of course he's gonna try to cheese it somehow. And, and we wouldn't have it any other way, would we? Run the scorpions into each other, like have them pile on you and jump out at the last moment, so that they just crash into each other and leave behind a bunch of materials. Probably. Yep, exactly. Exactly what I thought. Now grab the shards, if you can. Oh, he teleported out at the last moment? Where to? To a respawn point? Oh, to the... to here, to Inventoria. Actually, Inventoria really can be used to cheese so many situations. Yep. Yep. Not the intended usage, but a usage. And it's the unintended usages that are the most interesting, aren't they? Waited for the scorpions to lose aggro, and now there's a bunch of items you can pick up. Yep. Why the fuck is my camera flickering? Yeah, probably some crystal weapons. And you just had to do it. Oh. Or he's just gonna keep farming. Mm-hmm. He found a way to farm crystal scorpion materials and he's gonna use it. But Inventoria doesn't count, does it? Yep. So no over-encumbered penalty. Yeah. How much they sell for, right? Even that alone is worth. A bunch of items. Good thing that the items don't despawn. Yeah? Can you exit Inventoria without MP? Or can you be trapped inside? Let's not be greedy, Sanraku. Let's not be that greedy. Something unique? Oh. So now it's a fight for the Stinger. Or it has a low % drop rate. Of course. The game's on. Now we need to get the Stinger. You would need a crit. Maybe. Something you have experience with, isn't it? Yep. What's this 5-minute crafts music? And the swarm appears, yeah. You can't really fight 1v1 for too long. Oh, call upon your guildmates. Right, you need to direct the Stinger attack at a different Scorpion, or make 2 Stingers clash, or something like that, in hopes of breaking one of them. Oh, and have the rest attack the Stinger. Makes sense. Okay, it's shattered. Wasn't enough though. Probably created some sort of a weak spot, yeah? And you can break it off. Now quickly lose aggro in Inventoria, because you're just gonna get killed. Unless you get killed before you grab it. Six boat leap, something? No? RNGesus is a cruel master, that's true. I played a lot of Warframe, I would know. Physically, yes, mentally he's broken. Of course, gotta try it again. Right, enemy attacks can destroy items, can't they? No, he's gonna be fine once he gets the item. Black Eyes, of course, a classic. He's entering beast mode. Get the stinger. Or that. That also works. Feel better by bragging. Yep. Brag to your guildmates about it. That's bound to also make you feel better. Oh, and that's the episode. I guess we don't even see whether those items are useful or not. Very short and, like, I almost want to say single-minded episode, wasn't it? Just trying to get the items and trying to get the stinger, and that's basically it. Almost slice of lifey in a way, isn't it? Where you would have a slice of life anime episode that's just going to the grocery store, and that's the episode. And here you have getting scorpion items, and that's the episode. Nothing more to it. I guess it's gonna be a short discussion. Oh, so C2C stands for challenge to challenge. Interesting. And the mini is... Records of battles with Lycagon. Right. I mean, that's true. There is a chance. Momo-chan? Who would that be? What? Yeah, my exact question. You can Google it, probably. Trying to put dynamite in his bones. I mean, close enough. Do you happen to have any? Oh, explosion magic. He's saying you're the bomb. Take it that way. That was a nice mini. Basically had pretty much more content than the episode. Okay, let's watch it again. Intro OP. Who is... where is she? Where the hell is she? The pink-haired beret-wearing girl in the opening. Yeah, I guess I'm just not gonna find her anymore. But yeah, you know who I mean. Who is she? We have one more episode left, and she still hasn't appeared. What's the deal with that? Either she really does appear in the last episode, or it's a teaser for season 2? I don't know, maybe, hopefully. We'll see. Climbing up top, I fully expected him to just not be able to jump up. And I fully expected him to just get incredibly frustrated at the fact that he can't even get to the scorpions, let alone fight them. And trying to find another way to climb, maybe a rappelling hook or grappling hook or something like that. But no, he was able to climb just fine. And yeah, what's the point of playing games if you can't go back wild? That is the exact point of games, isn't it? That you're not limited in whatever you're doing. That's why I'm always in awe, negatively surprised, I guess you could say, also negatively, whenever single-player games implement anti-cheat. For example, like, what's the fucking point of an anti-cheat in a single-player game? If I want to give myself 3 times the speed and unlimited HP, then let me play this way. Some of my best playthroughs of Crusader Kings, for example, 3 and 2, both, where when I got a mod that makes my character immortal. Was there any challenge? Yes, there was. Still, I had to keep my, my realm together and whatnot, but it was so much fun to have an immortal character, being able to go through the ages and amass all those, like, statuses and shit like that. That's what games are for, right? And especially in case of a game like Shangri-La here, or any other game that is similar to that and gives the player a lot of freedom. Emergent gameplay. Emergent gameplay is probably one of the most fun things about games, honestly. Whenever a game has any sort of emergent gameplay, you can see that immediately, because it becomes a YouTube and Twitch darling. Because there are so many possibilities to play that game and so many possibilities for things to go wild without the game actually like implementing them as features, that there's just a lot of content to be made. How many channels there are that are just RimWorld, and RimWorld on mods, and RimWorld on more mods, and RimWorld total conversion, and more RimWorld. How many Minecraft channels there are, right? For a good while, and I think even nowadays, how many Lethal Company, right? How Lethal Company, how it jumped in popularity precisely because of emergent gameplay. So I fully understand Sanaraku here. What's the point of playing games if you can't go back wild? That's why I was never a huge fan of the like Sony PlayStation school of making games, where it's just an interactive movie with some press X to Jason. It's like whatever. If I wanted to watch a movie, I would. And I usually do watch those movies as a playthrough on YouTube. Yeah, that's how I consume the entirety of Heavy Rain, for example. I just watched the playthrough. Why would I bother playing something that isn't really a game? Regardless. Yeah, that's a lot of crystals. Crystal Nest Cliff, hard to make progress because the crystals are jutting up everywhere and they are slippery and slick. I'm gonna be honest, I did not see that scorpion in the background. I really thought that it's just some random crystalline terrain. So I fully understand Sanaraku not seeing that either. But yeah, it's a scorpion. Animated on once. Clearly CG. Or is it? I'm not sure, honestly. Could be like Live 2D-ish technology. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. There's something off about it, but I'm not 100% on it being CG, to be honest with you. They camouflage in the field, of course, yep. And are a very tough enemy, because they charge at you and you can't effectively escape, because the terrain is bad. I expected some other attacks, like maybe a poison in the stinger, or venom rather, that turns you into crystal, or being able to shoot lasers from the stinger or something like that. But maybe it's not even necessary, because if you encounter a swarm of them, and you do encounter a swarm of them if you encounter just a single one, yeah, they don't need any advanced combat abilities, do they? A bunch of tough nuts. Mint and eucalyptus, if you're curious. Crystal scorpions attack as a swarm, precisely. I thought this is something, the like cube underneath the scorpion, that it might be like a maybe chest or a weak spot, or you like hit it and it opens and it drops items, something like that. But then I noticed that on the left and on the right you see a little bit of a different perspective, and it's just, they're just made of crystals, they're just blocky like that. It's nothing specific, nothing special. This is great. Emil wearing sick about Sanraku, and then he just he just appears. Just like that. And yeah, carrot is enough. I fully expected him to just drop the idea of fighting the scorpions. I was stupid enough to think that he will be reasonable here and he will see, oh shit, I can't defeat them, so let's go do something else, and maybe that will give us time to meet the pink-haired girl, for example. And the crystal scorpions were just a maybe a teaser, a little bit, maybe just an aside. But I fully expected them to be like a teaser, right? Sanraku cannot defeat them, so we set up a goal: defeat the crystal scorpions. And so he sticks around in the city, maybe meets the pink-haired girl, and by the end of the next episode he has something new that allows him to maybe defeat at least one of those scorpions. Not a swarm, still, because they're like above level 100, but at least one of them. I fully expected something like that to happen, but no, this entire episode is just fighting scorpions. And yeah, This weird black shiny thing that looks like what's it called? Starts with P, and I have a wait. Do I have it here? Pyrite. Yeah, pyrite. I should have a block of pyrite somewhere, but I'm not gonna look for it. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, blue pyrite, essentially. Items unique to the area, and yeah, mining, of course, causes vibrations, so it, of course, will cause the scorpions to appear. I expected Sanraku to die here, and perhaps look for a way to mine silently. Maybe add some stealthy capabilities to his build, right? Maybe visit Elke and buy a stealth ability from her, and buy a stealth extraction ability or something like that. That's I expected this to go this way, right? Like the encounter with the scorpions being a motivation for Sanraku to try out the stealthy playstyle a little bit, and for that stealthy playstyle that he acquired in this mini arc, I guess you could say, to be relevant further. That's what I expected. But no, he just he would just rather brute force it, and actually it's like perfectly on brand for him, so I can't even complain. Here I expected that maybe the pickaxe is going to be a great weapon against the scorpions. He will be able to swing it and the scorpions just all die. But no, not quite. Not quite, but thankfully he was able to recover at least a bit of this weird glowy pyrite, produced via repeated compression and refinement through an ingestion by geophagic monsters. Refinement through ingestion by geophagic monsters. You repeated that line, subs. Its beautiful blue color recalls the land itself. It's probably gonna be useful somehow. You probably use this and the parts of crystal scorpions and are able to create some sort of a magic crystalline item, maybe, or a crystalline something. Maybe armor, probably armor, since those are like scorpion carapaces. Then again, the stinger and the claws are weapons, so maybe like the claws can be turned into two daggers for Sanraku and made magic with this Aron Kaleth hard lapis. I know. Seems like a fair assumption, though. Are you satisfied? Yeah, quite. I love this little detail, little moment of Emil just tucking him in and singing him a lullaby. That's just sweet. Straight up sweet. And who programmed it? Who programmed NPCs to tuck players in? And of course, right before you fall asleep, you suddenly get a solution. That's like the worst thing. You fall asleep, you think about some problem in, I don't know, programming or game dev or whatever, and you wake up, shit, I know how to solve it. It's the middle of the night and you turn on your PC to try that solution. It's the worst. It's the worst, but also the best, because that's how you get plenty of ideas, unfortunately. Could I get the torn of carapace bits as an item? Yeah, and that question requires immediate validation. You cannot just log off and go to sleep without checking that. I understand, Sanraku, I understand. The mana used to open gates. Yeah, the idea, open a gate, escape, lose aggro. Some great Sanraku faces in this episode. Yeah, stick them on each other, create a pile up, disappear into Inventoria, wait for them to drop aggro, reappear back, and just grab the dropped shards. Legs, pincers. Yeah, bet Bila could make something awesome out of them. Absolutely, I can see that. And we're gonna repeat that run a couple of times. Thanks to Inventoria, there's no inventory limits. It's really busted, isn't it? Inventoria, on so many levels. Unlimited materials from the over level 100 Crystal Scorpions. Question is, would you be able to use items created out of those parts? Because it's usually the case that if you get some materials from like a level 100 monster, then the items you can craft with them are also in the ballpark of level 100. So at level, what, 50 something by now, 60-ish, Sanraku would probably not be able to use them. But he would have them ahead of time, I guess. So when he reaches level 100, he would have a ready-made set of weapons to use. More items, greed. I honestly expected to see a arc, not an arc, but I expected to see a limitation of inventoria in one way or another, where you need MP to enter it, and you also need MP to exit it. And I fully expected Sanraku to be trapped inside of inventoria. I 100% expected that. But no. Crystal Leg, Crystal Talon, Crystal Pincer, Crystal Scorpion Scarapace, Aroncalet Hard Lapis, Lapisteria Stellar Crystal, Amurcidian Quartz, Crystalline Sand, Loenanva Amber Crystal. A lot of crystals in general. No Stinger, of course, the most defining part of a Scorpion. And there's no rest for the wicked until the wicked get a Stinger. It's very hard, of course, it's the main weapon of the Scorpion, so it won't be easy to remove it, but thankfully friendly fire between the Scorpions works, so they can destroy the Stinger, at least partially. I'm not sure what to think of Sanraku just throwing himself here. He has plenty of movement abilities, so I would expect him to use one of them. He doesn't have MP though, does he? So maybe he cannot use any movement abilities. That would make sense. Alternatively, I expected him to just jump into Inventoria, wait for the aggro to drop, and reappear and look for the Stinger, assuming it doesn't despawn, and other items don't, so why would this one? But he decided to just throw himself after it, and die to the Scorpion Blender, unfortunately. Now, thankfully, he has enough, like, sanity left in him to not try repeatedly to get the Stinger again and again and again. Let's take a break. Let's make ourselves feel better by bragging to other people about what we got, and then maybe try for the Stinger again, once the morale is built up. You play worse when you're frustrated, so let's try not to do that. I can fully and entirely see B just say, no, I actually can't do anything with them, my level is too low, I need to, you know, raise up as a blacksmith to be able to use them. So they're useless right now, or maybe Visage can only use them, or maybe they're just useless for crafting for a blacksmith because they're just so, you know, easy to shatter, and you need the help of a jeweler, maybe, to craft some jewelry. Wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. Or maybe they can only create items made for mages, or something like that. And then Sanraku will swear again that he will get the Stinger. Or maybe he will hear from B that, oh, actually, the only part sturdy enough to, like, forge is the Stinger. The rest just kind of shatters, so you can sell them, or maybe make some jewelry. If you want a weapon, get me a Stinger. And the Scorpion Saga continues. Nice, single-railed, single-minded episode. Yeah, good thinking that maybe there's a chance, however small, to break through the Lycagon curse, or maybe you can just overwhelm the server with requests being sent so quickly that eventually it lets through and allows you to equip it, kind of like, I know, over charming in Hollow Knight. But no, doesn't work that way. And there is Dynamite Bone-In Muscle Burst, whatever that is. And of course she just signs off, and he keeps thinking about it to the point of insanity. I just need a dynamite. Cool. Cool. Alrighty. Righty. Good episode. Nothing like, groundbreaking happened. Nothing super big. Sanraku got a couple of curious items, so I can see them becoming relevant in the future, perhaps even important. Perhaps it turns out that for B to fix the magical thingamajig, she actually needs the magical pyrite crystal. Wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. And Sanraku will already have it on hand. Those items will probably be useful eventually. Actually, maybe I'm looking a little bit too deep into it. I immediately assume that any item that Sanraku picks up and is explicitly named will eventually become useful, but maybe not. Maybe actually not. Like, in games, how many items have you ever picked up that just weren't useful? Or rather, items that you found no use for, and they just cluttered your inventory, or you eventually sold them and never had use for them, right? There's plenty of those. So it could very well be that it's the case here. I'm not sure. We'll see, I guess. Both ways of going about it would be fine by me. So we got some special items. We got kind of sort of another storyline open to us, right? Eventually, maybe not right now, but eventually beating the Scorpions. Just like one of the goals is to beat the Lycagon, another goal is to get the Weathermon abilities. We now have another goal of beating the Scorpions, and maybe it's gonna be something that we still tackle in the next episode, could be, or it's going to be something that just continues throughout the rest of the show. We have one more episode left. It continues for sometime in the future, should there be a second season, and probably continues through the light novel. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. Kind of a pity that we didn't get to see Sanraku bring those items to Beam. I kind of see it. It feels like a cliffhanger to me, because I really wanted to see B talk about those items. What can she make out of them, or what she cannot make out of them. But no, we're gonna have to wait for the next episode to see that. Alas, 1 week of waiting. And yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. Nice episode in general. Couple of instances I noticed of a little bit lower fidelity art, but it's like whatever, doesn't really matter that much. Nice episode, not much to talk about though. Kind of feels like almost like a filler. So I wonder what the next episode's gonna be, since the next episode is supposed to be the finale, isn't it? And what could be the finale here, I wonder, seeing how this episode didn't prepare us for any sort of a finale, right? That's usually the case. The penultimate episode sets the stage for the finale. No stage is set here. So I really have to ask, what's the finale gonna be? Or is it going to be like a midpoint point, and we're gonna have a season 2 announcement immediately? Kind of like in case of Sasaki and Pichan, right? Where the finale of the season didn't really feel like a finale whatsoever. But we also got an announcement of the second season immediately after, so it's kind of basically a split core. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still very much curious about the pink-haired girl. Who the fuck is she, and why is she appearing in the opening of the first season if she hasn't appeared in the first season yet? Yeah, that's a big question here, isn't it? But right now, I guess that's gonna be it from me for today. But you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that, in the comments down below. No spoilers. Spoilers can go to my Discord if you want. Here also linked in the description. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Shangri-La Frontier the finale, but also Yuki Yuna, Majo to Yaju still continues, Metallic Rouge still continues, and plenty others coming in the future because the next season is gonna be coming soon. And I'm also gonna be streaming my look at the next season in the coming weeks, so click the bell to be notified of when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below on Patreon. For $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Yuki Yuna, and for just $1, you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube via memberships, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Grip Survivor, Zayrainer, Absolution, Yuka, Alaish, Tamu, Marcos, and Dr. Watt, Akamonster, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them as well without having to fight any scorpions.